picked up on Friday, and now it's Tuesday because it was a long weekend, and I haven't moved my truck anywhere, so it's just been sitting here. This guy is a beast, let me tell you. So it has all these parts for it. It's an antique Chain Mortiser. Anyways, there's the motor for it. It's a big one. That's at least has some value. This Chain Mortiser though is so heavy. Like, I'm not even sure what to do with it. There's the company right there, Cowan and Company. Now I've done a little bit of research on this thing. There's barely anything on the internet, but I did see a picture from a museum of one that looks just like this. Has a foot pedal and everything. And the one in the museum, they said it was from 1925. And it would not surprise me if this thing was from around that time. Widowmaker type of belt that spun the whole thing around. So this thing is definitely missing some parts. It was lying down flat in the truck bed, and I had to get the wife up here to help me, and we both lifted it up into the upright position. At least when it's like this, I could actually move it out of the truck. But my thing is that because it's so heavy, you know, once I get out of the truck and let's say I put it onto the ground, it's like, okay, now what? So I would probably just put on a pallet and put it somewhere in my yard, list it as is, because I definitely don't have any time to do this, to restore it. It's got all these parts here too. And then list it, and hopefully someone will buy it, and then what? Someone comes by with their truck, and then we have to put it back on their truck. That's not going to happen. Even if they had like a flatbed trailer, you would need to bring like 5 guys to come up here and help me, because you saw how we put it in the truck with a loader. Anyways, so it's unfortunate, but yeah, I may just bring it to the scrapyard. First, I'm going to do some packages and then see what the day brings. Take it step by step here. This little guy I sold today, little microchip. Don't ask me what it's for because I don't really know. Microchip, 64 pin. Anyways, there you go, brand new. And I finally sold that today. This is from an auction going way back. I think about 3, maybe 4 years ago I went to that auction, and that was one of the best ones I ever went to. It was a company that was going out of business, and they were selling off all their stuff. It had a huge place, stuff like that, all kinds of neat stuff. And I bought a lot of money. I bought a lot of stuff there, and I didn't spend that much money. Anyways, but I've been making money off this auction ever since then. So that's one thing. Now this has been up on eBay for about 14 or 15 months. So I set my listings good till canceled, so it just keeps auto listing every month. And there you go, January 21st, 2017. So it's September now. So it's been up there for about 15 months or so, 14, 15 months. That's how you do it. So I sold that for $30. $30 plus the shipping that they paid. And that many months of a listing isn't going to cost you very much. So I may have paid like $1.60 for the listing to be reposted every month over that period of time, and I made $30 from it. So that's how I do it. And then I have so many listings, and eventually have a great selection of things for people to buy, and you can make a decent amount of cash from all of this. Alright guys, there it is. The Mortiser is out. Use the chains around the loader. There it is guys, we're all done. So let's see what we got here. This monster weighed 840 pounds. They gave me #1 steel for it, and yes, $61, but 840 pounds. My god, that was heavy. And then I brought the motor in at the same time. I didn't want to have to lug that thing around anymore. That was 142 pounds. 1420. So grand total 75 bucks. So steel is way down. I mean, if I had brought this thing in when it was up, I would have been getting like over 200, maybe like 250 a ton for number one steel. But that is 160 a metric ton. Anyways, so that's that. Gotta go back home and put on my hitch lift so I can go do my pickup. I have a pickup at the shop and my drop-off bin. It looks like a whole bunch of garbage here today. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let's go take a look. Got one of these. I do know that I have a technician dropping off all of his stuff, and he's been scrapping out quite a bit of air conditioners. That's why in the past you guys have seen that I've only gotten compressors here at my bin, but this is definitely something that he thought was going to be all copper, and then found out just a whole big pile of aluminum. So I guess he didn't want to have to deal with it. Just gave it to me. Air handling unit. Now I don't know what this thing is. What is that? TV in a box. All right, let me get a few of these things loaded up and we'll check out whatever is behind there. Anything else here, guys? This is a box for TV that I guess they bought, and they put the old one inside. It's a monster size box, 55 inches. Jeez, it's a big TV. I'll have to take that foam out so it doesn't blow away. This is some sort of light box, and it is just stinky. Cat pee stinky, and basement smelly. Yeah, so that's just gonna go in a fire pit, I guess. This is like an axe head. Look at that. Look how that axe head is broken. Like it got squished. After that, just a little bit of plumbing. Yeah. Blender. What kind of blender is that? Cuisinart commercial blender. Yeah, that might be something. Maybe some parts off of that. And batteries in there. A little hard drive. That's it. That's it, guys. I'm gonna load it up, get home. So I'm working away on some eBay stuff today, guys. This is one thing that I picked up at the auction from the Science and Tech Museum auction, and these are door closers. So if you don't know what door closer is, it's just that big thing that, you know, it's for fire security doors and stuff. It's like a kind of like a brake, hydraulic brake. Anyways, these things are pretty expensive. I have two of them. They're the exact same. It comes with all the packaging and stuff, all the hardware, everything's there. There's the big piston itself. So I got two of this type, and I just finished going through the whole box, making sure it's all there. So it has this bracket, package of screws, the arm, the hydraulic, and then a cover. So I make sure it's all there in both boxes. I have two boxes here for it. Okay, so here we go, guys. So, like I said, I punched in Norton Asa Abloy 7500, and I got 11 results. And I like to sort it by going price plus shipping lowest first. The lowest one is $126. So I'm actually going to ignore this one because it's a bad picture. First of all, sideways picture, and it says pre-owned. And when they click on it, he actually says was never used. Packaging just has wear. So this just strikes me as not a very good listing. If I was to buy something, if I wanted to buy this, I wouldn't choose to buy this, guys, because it just doesn't look like a very good listing. So I'm just going to ignore that one. But this one looks like a very good listing. He's sold over 50 of them for $129. So this is the ad that I want to be competing with right here. From there, there's actually a used, there's this one here. It's lower, but the shipping is very high. At least for my area. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be competing with. Now, the other thing for me is that you have to also think about your shipping costs. Now, these are all in the US. There's no Canadian ones. So that's my advantage that I have is for me to, if I was a buyer here in Canada and I want to buy this one, okay, I would be looking at $20 for shipping, and then another 21 US, which is about 27 Canadian. $27 just to import it into Canada. And then you're looking at 7 to 17 business days to receive it. So I have an advantage over other sellers because I'm here in Canada. My shipping time is less and my shipping cost is less for Canadian buyers. So that's what I'm going by. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start making my listing. So that's my title there. It's I have 30 characters left. Normally you want to just fill up as much as you can. So you could also say like hydraulic brake, or you could say something else like that. I'll probably add to that title. And then you want to eBay will come up with a whole bunch of different listing suggestions for the categories, and so you just pick the most relevant one. And what else do you put in? Now you can also go up here and it says find product and see if you can find it. That way you may be able to get that nice stock photograph that this person has. But no, there are no, you can't find it. So maybe I'll go like this. Just do that part. No, nothing. Okay. Anyways, we'll ignore that. So this is my condition description. Excellent new condition. Packaging has wear and box has been opened. So that's when you choose new other. If you were to just choose new, then you won't be able to put any sort of description. So I haven't done the photos yet. So brand, you want to fill up as much of these. These are called item specifics. So I filled in the brand, which is Norton. Manufacturer product number and also model number is where you can put, that helps you with your search results. You see here, that is one of the numbers I put in, but then also I put in this number here, and I also put in the UPC number, and then it's model 689 as well, which is up in here. And then you just want to put in some sort of description. Just keep it simple. I would say something like new in box. Box has been opened, but all pieces accounted for, something like that. So the price, let's figure out the price here. So this is $129. He's sold 50 of them and he has 5 left. Not that one. So this one here, he sold 50, and he has 5 available. So he's selling them for $100 each US. So that's $129. Whew, big difference these days. So I'm going to go $119.95. So I'm undercutting him by a few bucks, by $10, and that way I can capitalize on the Canadian market. I can appeal to more Canadians that way. To me, that's a $100 brick just sitting there. Whereas someone, they'll see, like, let's say, I don't know, something more collectible. Let's say it was a Spider-Man comic book or something, and they'll say, wow, cool Spider-Man comic book, I'm going to sell that and flip it, I'll make $100. Well, you're going to have so many people, going after that because it's a big collectible item, whereas, you'll see this thing lying on the ground. No one knows what it is. Nobody wants to deal with it. And it may be dirty, maybe squashed or covered in oil. And so you can grab it for like $4 at an auction. Really cheap sometimes, because a lot of people don't know this sort of stuff. So that's what I like to do. It's not very exciting. It's something like a rare comic book or something more vintage or collectible. It's not exciting, but it brings in a good paycheck. Yeah, guys, this is it. Just some apples. That's all the apples we have left. We went to an apple orchard, and those are all that we have left. Those are delicious. They're called Silkies or Silkins or something. They're so small. Oh, but they're best apple I've ever had. This is it, guys. Sold 5 things the other day. Let's start. This is a piece of glass. Not just any glass, though. Of course, is from an oven, an electric range. So that's the inner glass. So that would be what keeps all the heat inside of the oven. So, you know, people will be taking something out of the stove or the oven, and then drop a big casserole dish or something on it, and we'll smash it all to pieces, and you gotta replace it. Otherwise, you'll probably start a fire. That was $40 plus $26 for shipping. That is going to be difficult to ship. Now, what I've done in the past is, so I'll put a couple layers of bubble wrap around it, and then I will wrap it in cardboard. So I'll just cut open a cardboard box and I'll wrap it in cardboard, and then I'll put that inside of a box. That is pretty much guaranteed not to break. Now, when I put the whole thing inside of another box, I stuff it with paper so that doesn't shift around. So that's the best way to do it. If you were to just put this in a box with newspaper, you're really running the risk of it shattering. This is a dishwasher cutlery holder, cutlery basket. Sold that for $30 plus the shipping, and that's been up on eBay for a while. But whenever I get a good one, I definitely put it up for sale, because these things tend to break a lot on the bottoms. So I'm not sure what happens. Whoops. But on the bottoms, these grates tend to break. I think it's because people, when they're doing dishes, they just kind of throw the knives and the forks, you know, when they're doing that, and eventually that plastic gets brittle down there and it will break. Or I don't know, maybe people just lose it, or they take it out and it gets broken somehow. Yeah, but I do sell them, not very often, but it's worth putting up on eBay for sure. And this is from a Nissan Altima that I had. I parted out, and this is from a while ago. Someone actually gave me their car. He said, "You want my car?" And he drove it over, and had a bad engine knocking and a lot of rust. But anyways, I parted it out. It was the first car I've ever parted out, so I didn't really do the best job, but it was a good learning experience. And so there's the passenger mirror, $45 for that. It's going to Alberta, and so they paid $45 plus the shipping. That is a little hub thing, multi-purpose USB hub, more of a vintage item, I guess. And I have 3 of these. I finally sold one, $10, so not a big sale. And this guy here, I don't know if you guys remember, but I parted out, or I got a whole bunch of whatchamacallit, hospital beds from a nursing home. Yeah, this is the power supply slash control module, the computer hub, whatever it is. So all the different motors will plug in there. So you got one for the actual button control, and then these go to different different motors that move the bed up all the way around. So that is I sold that for $100. And yeah, I've been doing okay with these hospital bed things. I've sold one of the remotes, one of the handheld wired remotes, and I've sold a couple of the actual motors. I'll show you the motors. I've actually sold a couple of these, and I've sold one of these. And I've had people as far away as France asking me about this sort of stuff, because this is actually a European brand. That retirement home, they still have a whole bunch of stuff there for me, but I just haven't gone back, mainly because it's in their basement and it's really, really difficult to get the stuff out. But I would like to go back, but it's been a while now. I don't know if he still has it or not. And I've kind of let him down a few times. I said I would go back, but I never did, so I don't know. We'll probably just have to say goodbye to that. Anyway, so that's all the sales I did today. Another neat thing that I sold this weekend, this came from my drop-off bin. This is an old clock. It's made by Sentinel Wafer. Sorry, the lighting's so bad in here. Sentinel Wafer. Ingram Canadian Clock Company, Ltd, Toronto, Canada. So it's pretty neat. Old clock. And didn't think much. I knew these clocks are collectible. I didn't really think much of it when I first got it, but I definitely put it aside. I didn't put it in with the rest of my scrap. And I finally got to it and I looked it up, and they sell very well. So I sold this one for $50. $50, and they paid $15 for shipping. I think this one wasn't working for me at first, and I took it apart and I cleaned it up as best I could inside. I can't really remember what it was. I think it was just old grease that had hardened up. So I just put some new, I used some bearing grease on there, and I just kind of cleaned it up, and it worked again. The motor was working fine. It was just the hands weren't moving, and it was just clogged up a little bit by dirt and grime. So yeah, that was a nice little find from my drop-off bin. Definitely keep an eye out for these old clocks. I think the hands are very unique. It's what draws people to it. And yeah, just, you can see all the wear it has from being on and off the wall. It's kind of neat. It's from, I can't remember when. I think it's from the 1970s, but I'm not sure. I'm done with this thing here, guys. I picked this up from Sprinkler Company. It's a big valve, big check valve thing for a sprinkler system. I've been trying to sell it, but no interest whatsoever. I have an eBay listing for it as well, for local pickup, and I think it's gotten, like, over the past year, maybe 50 views, so it's nobody wants it. So I'm going to scrap it, cancel the listing, and yep, it's going bye-bye. So I just been taking off these bolts here. All right, let's see what's inside. Big piece of cast. Alright, so inside there is the valve, the check valve. So take that off, I have to unbolt this. It's just a square. Maybe I can get a socket over it. Got the 3/4 inch wrench. Just gonna try and take off this nut. Not bad. It's a brass plug. Okay, wait a minute. Lefty, righty, lefty. Oh, it's stripping it off. Solid brass bar. There we go, big piece of brass. Has a rubber thing on it. There is a brass ring right in there. I'm not going to take that off. So they take that as breakable cast iron, which is a little bit better than scrap shreddable steel. So it's something. And then we get a little bit of brass to go with it. And that's it. There's all the clean brass from it. It's not bad. I mean, that's maybe a pound or so. So it's something for sure. And not to be outdone, we have all the cast iron to go with it. Definitely a good little, oh, that's heavy. Definitely has some weight to it, so it'll bring us a few bucks. A few more sales here, guys. This here is a transformer. This is new old stock transformer. It's really heavy. I'll try and take it out. I'll probably have to wrap it up in something a little bit better anyways to ship it. But this is a luminous transformer used on neon signs. It's very heavy, by Allenson, and this is new old stock. I couldn't really find anything on the internet about this guy, so I had a hard time pricing it out. But I settled on a price of $70, and it sold pretty fast. Sold within 1 week. So I underpriced it. I can tell I underpriced it because the guy paid $67 for shipping. $67 for shipping, expedited to the US. It's going to New Mexico. So just there, $70 for shipping and $70 price paid. So I definitely underpriced it. That's okay. I'm not concerned about that. You know, sometimes with reselling, you're going to sell things for less than what they're worth. It's just part of the game, you know. This one here, I really could not find any information about it. And I thought it was kind of a more obsolete item that wouldn't be used. That they had newer technology, you know, newer transformers that they would use. But no, this is something that obviously can be put in service right away. It's new old stock. I think it's from the 80s or something. Yeah, so it's for a neon luminous tube transformer. It's for neon signs. High voltage transformer, 15,000 volts. Pretty neat item. So that is from my auction that I went to recently, the big museum auction that I did a huge haul. Bought a whole bunch of stuff for around 450 bucks, and I brought home a whole bunch of stuff. This was one thing in a big box lot of items that I bought. So I really made a lot of money with this auction, guys. It was really good. So that's one thing. So I underpriced that. But that's okay. You know, these things are gonna happen. This is something else that I priced out better. This is a sale of a motherboard for $100, and that is just a basic motherboard. I think it doesn't have any RAM, but it has the CPU. Intel CPU is an older motherboard for sure. So $100 and $30 for shipping. It's going to Massachusetts. That's a nice little sale. So yeah, I've been doing all right with these motherboards. Sometimes you find some that are very generic. You can only sell them for like $30, and then you find other ones that are a lot better, like that one, $100. It's awesome. And last one here. This isn't. This is just a poster, movie poster, or not movie poster. It's actually a poster of New York, and it has the Twin Towers in it. And now September 11th just passed. It's actually purchased on September 12th. So I think that the anniversary had something to do with it. Yeah, it just took a best offer of $30. And I think either myself or Christine bought that in New York some time ago, and we just never put it on the wall or anything. So I just decided to list it, and that's been up for a long time, well over a year. Yeah, anyways, $30, there you go. I don't think we paid that much for that poster.